Welcome to United Way of Summit and Medina's 2021 annual meeting. Please take your seats for the commencement of our program. Please welcome Jim Mullen, President and CEO of United Way of Summit in Medina.
Look at that, you guys actually sat down. We appreciate that. Hello everybody and welcome to United Way of Summit in Medina's 2021 annual meeting. We are incredibly grateful to everyone that was able to join us today. We have a huge crowd for a welcome back event to 2021. After a year of canceled plans, multiplying emails, Zoom calls, it truly is great to see so many people, friends, here in person. While this certainly isn't our first annual meeting, it is the first time that we are in front of you all as United Way of Summit Medina. As probably many of you already know, last year United Way of Summit County and United Way of Medina County joined forces to become United Way of Summit in Medina. Later, we'll talk about what it means for our work, but for now, it means there's a lot of new faces joining us today. We welcome you and look forward to continuing United Way's history of service in both Medina and Summit counties. Well, as I said, we are extremely happy to be in a room full of old friends and new faces. I personally can't help but think about somebody that's not with us today. As many of you know, this community suffered a huge loss this past year with the passing of our friend, board member, volunteer, and community champion in Phil Maynard. To all of you that are familiar with United Way, Phil was not only a key board member and volunteer, he was a true champion for our change. Over the course of his time and my tenure here at United Way, Phil was a true advocate for doing something different, for not settling for the status quo, and for doing what we could to move this community forward. Phil's legacy will forever be cemented with the United Way of Summit in Medina County. But more importantly, for many of you in this room, a lot of familiar faces, as we said, Phil was so much more than a community volunteer, an advocate, and champion. Phil was truly a friend. And for many of us, that friendship will be forever something that we will value, treasure, and hold close to our hearts. I can tell you personally, 2 years ago, before this meeting, when Phil Maynard calls, you answer. And Phil certainly was coming to this meeting, but as I was getting ready and prepared, my phone rang and I saw Phil Maynard on the screen and I answered it. And Phil knew that we had this meeting, but Phil just wanted to talk. Phil wanted to talk about the ideas and the thoughts, and that is the thing I miss most about Phil and my friendship with Phil. I was telling my wife just the other day that the Saturday morning, about 10 a.m., my phone would ring very often and I knew it was going to be Phil, because he was just checking in. He had a great meeting, typically with Roger Reed or somebody like that, and he wanted to fill me in on all the great schemes and things that they had cooking up. I truly miss Phil. Phil was a great friend, a great mentor, and I know so many of you miss him as well. The one thing that we continue to say is the best way to honor Phil is to continue pushing forward by moving forward, that he inspired us all to change community from within. You'll hear more about that later from us, but for a moment, please all just think about Phil and what Phil meant to this community. Today, we'll be sharing with you the important work United Way is doing across Summit and Medina counties. You'll learn how our bold goals are driving real change and how they serve the ongoing purpose of our organization. You'll learn how our work is achieving big results, thanks in large part to the United Way programs that directly serve people in our community. And you'll learn how you and your organizations can help create lasting change for our community. As we do that, as I said, let's look to Phil as an example. Let's pursue leadership through service. Let's dedicate ourselves to bringing hope to those around us. And let's always have the courage and spirit to work harder in pursuit of our community's true potential. Now, before I let you get back to your lunch, I'd like to share with you an excellent video that was created by the City of Akron and premiered at the State of the City address last week. As we look ahead to the future we are building, it's important to look back at what our community has been through over the past year. Please enjoy your lunch. The program will begin shortly.
This afternoon, we learned that 3 Ohioans have tested positive for COVID-19. This is no ordinary time. It's important for us to take aggressive action to protect Ohioans.
This is a time which requires extraordinary, heroic measures of shared sacrifice to ensure that we protect our most vulnerable citizens.
A group that tries to attract jobs and talent to the region says local employment recovery could take 5 years and trail the rest of the country.
As a community, the call to action around equity is one we can no longer afford to sideline.
World Health Organization officials confirmed there are more than 500,000 positive cases.
A vaccine is still at least 12 to 18 months away.
Working on the front lines at Northeast Ohio hospitals can, of course, take a mental toll on the healthcare workers.
That video of George Floyd handcuffed, face down on the ground, has sparked outrage nationwide.
The number of Ohioans not working is at the highest known level ever. The state's unemployment rate was 16.8% in April. That's the highest since Ohio began keeping records 44 years ago.
You know, it's no secret. It has been a really tough year for a lot of us. You know, many people are asking for help for the first time. Well, down in Akron, the mayor says the help that they've already given to residents is going to continue.
I certainly understand that people are struggling right now, maybe to pay their water and sewer bills. We do have a program, and it's called Akron Care.
To help local families, the food bank increased the frequency of its neighborhood distribution.
Some financial hope tonight. Tens of millions of people will receive their coronavirus stimulus.
The Paycheck Protection Program, or PPP, set aside nearly $350 billion to cover companies' payroll expenses.
Just last week, Council President Margot Somerville and I announced the City of Akron's Racial Equity and Social Justice Task Force.
To help out, because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to help each other.
The community now offering up grants to make sure people can keep creating.
At this time of great need, the most important thing is that we come together.
In conjunction with the state of Ohio, we'll be opening up a mass vaccination site right here in Summit County at the Summit County Fairgrounds. And 1 week from today, all Ohioans age 16 and older will be eligible for the vaccine.
We are trying to vaccinate as many individuals as quickly as possible.
Vaccination rates are beginning to rise across the state.
The name of the game today is vaccines. This is where we win.
After more than 600 days, baseball has returned to Akron.
This is a city on the move. There's no question about that.
Ready to roll, Northeast Ohio, because it is Derby week.
Everybody's back out together. We're happy about it. We know that we still have a long way to go.
Akron will always be a place where grit and determination are celebrated and where hardworking men and women can achieve the American dream.
Please welcome the Chair of United Way of Summit and Medina, Michelle Cermanero.
Move these down a little. Hello, and thank you for joining us today. I am so honored to be the chair of the United Way Summit Medina County United Way, and I am thrilled to see all of you in person and to actually be able to hug you. So thank you so much for being here. So I would like to take a moment to thank my predecessor, Mark Crone, for his hard work and dedication during his time as board chair. Mark, you led this organization through a period of incredible growth as we expanded our services and broadened our impact. You carried us through some of the most crucial moments in our organization's history. Traditionally, we present a gift to the outgoing board chair, and although it's a little late, we didn't want you to think we forgot about you, Mark. So I don't know if you know it, but Mark is a Clemson alum and a huge fan of Clemson football. So to thank him for his hard work as board chair, Mark, we got you your own custom Clemson jersey, complete with your favorite number. Mark, thank you for your service. So to begin our program today, I'd like to welcome United Way's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee Chair, Bishop David Parker, to talk about United Way's work to advance diversity, equity, and inclusion, both within our organization here at United Way and across our communities in Medina and Summit counties. Welcome, Bishop Parker.
Good morning, everybody. You all are a little quiet. I'm coming from the church tradition, so when I speak, I'm used to somebody speaking back to me. Good morning, everybody. Thanks, Michelle. Thank you to each and every one of you who are here to be a part of this great occasion. I want to first start off by thanking Jim, our chief corporate sponsor of diversity, equity, and inclusion, as well as our board chair, Michelle, and as well our staff leader, Andre Campbell. Let's put our hands together for them. Next, I would like to thank each and every one of our volunteers that serve on the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee. Would you all stand right where you are? We just want to recognize you. Thank you to each of you for the hours of hard work and conversation, most difficult conversations that we have. The work around diversity, equity, and inclusion has never been more relevant or important than it is now. Over the past year, we've seen just how important it is to help each of us, each group, each individual, be a stakeholder in building the future of our community. While the importance of diversity, equity, and inclusion came to the forefront nationally only recently, we've been doing this work a long time. We were part of a group that founded a program that eventually became Diversity on Board. As well, we introduced Bridges Summit County as a program back in the early 2000s. Over this past year, we've continued to provide bridges and poverty simulation classes throughout Summit County. All of Akron, Summit, and Medina benefits by us helping those who are challenged the most succeed in skills in life that will change their future forever. However, it starts with us making intentional, equitable choices with our work. That's why United Way of Summit and Medina's work around the bold goals was built with diversity, equity, and inclusion in mind. We work as an organization to identify what needs are greatest in our community. We then provide resources to make sure that those needs are met. Often this means rectifying and correcting systemic issues that have kept the problems in place. When we introduced the bold goals a number of years ago, some asked, why are we so Akron focused on these goals? Well, as Jim would say, we followed the data. And what the data told us was that this was our opportunity of greatest need. We found out that when we would help a third grader read at third grade level one time, that student was 4 times more likely to graduate from high school. We also found out that the individuals that graduated from high school were more likely to have at least $10,000 more in their annual income. Being in a position to earn a living wage, as well as being a part of the community, this engenders hope in an individual. That means that that individual is less likely to participate in drugs, less likely to produce and do crime. We believe that that bit of hope enables that person to go to greater levels in their life. And with that being the case, they can take a possible position of leadership in our community. United Way's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee, with the full support of the United Way board and staff, is committed to advancing this work in our community. This means that just like our bold goals, we identify metrics that help us measure our progress. As well, we make sure that our board and our staff represent our larger community. It also means that we reach out and engage with our community partners and our funded agencies to make sure that United Way's impact is reaching the people that need it the most. Advancing diversity, equity, and inclusion is not a passive work. It's not something where we can just say we want it to happen or we feel like it should happen. This is something that we must be active and assertive in making happen. When we embrace diversity, equity, and inclusion, we're embracing better outcomes for our students. When we embrace diversity, equity, and inclusion, we're embracing the fact that our students are going to graduate and be enrolled, employed, or enlisted. When we embrace diversity, equity, and inclusion, we're saying that we want people to be more economically viable and have greater financial opportunities in our community. When we embrace diversity, equity, and inclusion, we'll see more entrepreneurialism across the board. We'll see greater opportunities in our city. We'll see more opportunities to draw people from far and wide. We believe that diversity, that's right, you can go ahead and clap on that one. I welcome, and I challenge each of you in this room. Embrace the work of diversity, equity, and inclusion. When we've done all of these things, we will have a better community, a better city, better neighborhoods, better families, better schools, and better lives. I challenge you again, embrace diversity, equity, and inclusion. It brings to light the understanding. A high tide floats all boats. And that lets us know that as a team, if we do this together, everyone will achieve more. Thank you so much. Now I'd like to introduce Bill Lowry, our 2021 campaign chair. Let's put our hands together for him.
Thank you, Bishop Parker, and thanks each and every one of you for being here today. This will be my second year as campaign chair, and I'm excited to be leading another United Way campaign. First, I want to take a moment to thank my predecessor, 2019 campaign chair Brad Wright. Brad, for your service and for successfully chairing the 2019 United Way campaign, we got a token of our appreciation. This framed portrait shows you as the rock star that you are or want to be. Maybe not a real rock star, but definitely a fundraising rock star. Thanks, Brad, for all your hard work and for being part of our United Way. Last year, when COVID-19 shut many businesses down and forced others to work remotely, we knew we were facing a challenge. Running a successful United Way campaign is about building relationships. It's about face-to-face meetings, heart-to-heart conversations about what matters most to our donors and our community. What's more, a crisis like the global pandemic raises the stakes for us as an organization. When the need is greater, so is our duty to step up and serve our community. So I'm proud to say that the 2020 campaign year was just as successful as the previous year. Despite the challenges and despite the setbacks we faced, our community rose to the occasion. Last year, no organization rose to the occasion more than the winner of our 2020 Spirit of Caring Award, EY. EY partnered with United Way of Summit in Medina to open our newest Family Resource Center at Mickey Bright Community Learning Center. And EY stepped up in their giving, growing their campaign by more than 20%. Special thanks to Monty Rapaski for joining us, and let's give EY a hand, please. Thank you very much to the organizations that took part in our 2020 United Way campaign, and to all our campaign award winners. You could pick up your awards, you might have seen them on the way in, at the awards table in the second floor rotunda at the conclusion of our event. Looking ahead to this year's campaign, we want to carry forward the same spirit that animated our 2020 campaign. We want to tap into the generosity and the sense of shared purpose we have in this community. We want to grow our impact so we can serve more people and make a bigger difference in our community. And we look forward to working with each and every one of you to make that happen. Finally, before I turn it over to our next speaker, I want to extend an invitation to everyone. United Way of Summit Medina is hosting the 30th annual Taste of Medina County. On October 14th at Weymouth Country Club, we're bringing together more than a dozen Medina County restaurants to show off their culinary skills and treat guests to some of the best food our community has to offer. Guests will enjoy an open bar and live music. Whether you've been attending this event for years or it's your first time checking it out, we're looking forward to sharing this event with all of you. Visit our website at uwsummitmedina.org for tickets starting today, and we'd love to see each and every one of you there. It's now with my great pleasure I'd like to introduce the next speaker, our United Way of Summit Medina Tocqueville Chair, Bill Considine.
Well, thank you, Bill, and good afternoon, everybody. You know, standing here before this wonderful gathering, I can't help but share and reflect on the pride that Becky and I have always had in our community. And your presence today adds to that pride, but also speaks to each and every one of you and your caring spirit. The same spirit that's behind our United Way program and what it does for countless individuals in our service area. I can also share that it is really an honor to be your Tocqueville chair this year, especially following in the shoes of my dear friend, Phil Maynard. My co-chair is Steve Wilt, and both he and I promise to do our very best in terms of carrying on Phil's vision. If Steve could stand, I'd like everybody to give him a round of applause because he's going to be coming after you. Now, I know Jim mentioned Phil, and it would be remiss if I stood before you and didn't reflect a little bit on my dear friend. Phil had that caring spirit I spoke of. And when you look at what he did for this community, and also what he did for our United Way, it set out a path for all of us. Because it's a path that leads to really reward that you get by putting others above yourself. That was Phil Maynard. Phil and I often talked about our community and the opportunities, if we work together, what we could do for others within our community. Phil and I also talked about leadership. And Phil understood that leadership was much more than just making decisions. True leaders know how to generate hope in others. And when you look at what our community and each and every one of you have had to cope with over the last year or so, there is an incredible time appropriate for us to provide hope to others. That's what United Way does through its bold goals. During Phil's tenure as Tocqueville chair, he brought our fundraising to the $4 million mark, a record for United Way. And those dollars went to need, and the return on those dollars and that investment is truly something you should all be very, very proud of. So put your hands together for that. Over the next few weeks, we want to be messengers about the wonderful message that comes from United Way. And we want to be able to meet with you and your colleagues and work associates so we can tell that story in a way that gets them to step forward as Tocqueville members. For those of you that are Tocqueville members, thank you. And please let us know what we need to do in terms of talking with you so you'll re-up that kind of commitment. And if you know anyone that is considering to be Tocqueville, please let us know, because we want to meet with them in person to tell them Phil Maynard's vision for this. I had the opportunity to spend some time with Phil right before he died. And he talked about his belief in this community and his belief in each and every one of you. And he also talked about his vision for our community. And he said, Bill, it's important for you and all of you to carry on. Let's carry on together. God bless you. Thank you so much for being here today. And I think I introduced Michelle now.
Please welcome back to the stage United Way Board Chair, Michelle Cermanero.
Hello again. So I get the distinct honor of reflecting back on our results and the programs that we have here at United Way. So much has happened since the last time we were together at our last annual meeting, but I can't think of any other year that's transformed this organization the way that 2020 did. For starters, we grew geographically to become United Way of Summit and Medina counties. This new chapter in our organization's history brings with it new opportunities for development, new partnerships, and fresh ideas. Most importantly, thanks to the merger, Medina County residents immediately gained access to effective United Way programs. For instance, children in Medina County can now receive free books through our Imagination Library program, which is one of the largest, or if not the largest, program of this kind in the state of Ohio. Medina County residents have access to free tax preparation services from United Way's VITA program and free financial coaching through our Financial Empowerment Center. And there's more on the horizon for Medina County. We believe that creating a lasting impact requires a clear vision for our future.
United Way has served the residents of Medina County for nearly 100 years, working to improve the lives of individuals, children, and families by advancing education, income, and health.
United Way of Summit and Medina is partnering with local leaders and stakeholders to identify bold goals so that together we can tackle the biggest challenges facing our community.
Like our goals for Summit County, our bold goals for Medina County will serve as benchmarks for our success, so we can focus on creating real, measurable impact. We'll do this by directly serving people of every age and walk of life, and by investing in proven programs to better the quality of life for Medina County residents.
We know it won't be easy to achieve our bold goals, but we do know we can count on committed, compassionate individuals from all across our community, people like you. We look forward to working with you to build a better future for Medina County.
So, could I just ask our friends from Medina to stand, because I would love for you all to find a chance to talk to them. So, welcome to the family, friends from Medina. So stay tuned for more information on our bold goals for Medina County, and if you want to be part of helping develop those goals, please let us know. Reach out to any of us on the board, and we'll be so happy to have you help us. Of course, the most significant event of the past year has been COVID-19. And when COVID-19 set our community reeling, United Way took charge, leveraging its services to help those struggling to get through this once-in-a-lifetime crisis. This is what makes United Way so valuable to our community. The services that help uplift people in need during the best of times become vital lifelines in moments of crisis. In 2020, we saw a significant increase in calls to United Way 211 helpline. In response, United Way stepped up and made sure that the number of unmet needs from 211 callers went down. So just take a minute to think about that. The number of calls went up, but yet we were able to respond and drive down the number of folks that we were not able to meet their needs. That's a huge accomplishment in a very short time. During a year where families were facing unexpected hardships, where individuals were unable to work and children couldn't go to school, United Way ensured that fewer people slipped through the cracks. When requests for food assistance surged, United Way worked with DoorDash and local organizations like the Akron-Canton Regional Food Bank to deliver 170 tons of food to residents in need. Requests for housing assistance last year nearly doubled over the previous year. And thanks to United Way's partnership with the County of Summit for the Summit County CARES program, residents received more than $19 million in mortgage, rental, and utility assistance. As a result, the number of callers requesting housing assistance who couldn't get help went down by nearly 40%. Again, we were prepared for a surge and were able to better meet our residents' needs. Today, we are processing more housing assistance payments every month than we did in the entire year before. This all took place against the backdrop of a year filled with uncertainty and worry. We showed our community that in the darkest of times, they can trust United Way to help. Of course, crisis response was just one aspect of our work last year. Even as the pandemic wore on, United Way was at work advancing our bold goals, and United Way programs continue to serve clients and expand our reach and accessibility across the community. At the Financial Empowerment Center, created in partnership with the City of Akron, financial coaches saw clients through Zoom and over the phone. United Way's Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program offers safe drive-through services throughout 2 extended tax seasons, and we completed more tax returns in 2020 and in 2021 than ever before. We were prepared. United Way continued its work with the College and Career Academies of Akron, forging new partnerships between Akron Public Schools and local organizations. These relationships will help Akron Public Schools students graduate with the skills they need to succeed in college or the career of their choice. United Way opened a new family resource center in Mickey Bright CLC, co-sponsored by EY. This FRC joined the ones at Robinson CLC, sponsored by Key Bank, and Helen Arnold CLC, sponsored by Huntington Bank, in providing residents with a safe, welcoming place in a school where parents and caregivers can give information, assistance, and referrals to community resources. All this work is touching the lives of local residents every day, and it is making a measurable, lasting impact on our community. Our work is turning bold goals into big results.
At United Way, we're working to build a community where wraparound support is available in every neighborhood, where a helping hand is always within reach, where everyone can succeed. This is our community, and we are your United Way. We have bold goals. And to accomplish them, we need to work together. So we reach out, we empower one another, we lift each other up, we inspire hope, and we get results. We're advancing childhood reading, helping high schoolers succeed before and after graduation. Financially empowering local residents, and working to end the addiction crisis. Improving our community isn't easy. It takes purpose, teamwork, commitment, courage, and it takes you. This is your community. You can make a difference. Turn bold goals into big results with your United Way.
Please welcome back to the stage United Way President and CEO Jim Mullen.
So, I'm between you guys and leaving, so I'll try to be as quick as I can. But in seriousness, one of the things that we said early in my opening remarks, how excited we are as an organization to have so many people here with us today. We have over 800 folks that registered for this, and I just think it's a testament to the belief, as Mr. Considine said, that you all not only believe in United Way, but you believe in this community. So hats off to you all as donors, champions, advocates, community partners, and corporate partners for change. Before I get into my remarks, which will be synergistic to everything that was already said today, I do have to do a couple of quick acknowledgements. The first one is because it is August, normally our annual meeting is in April, it's the first time I've ever been able to have my kids in the room. So 2 of them are with us today, and I can promise you that if I stink up the room, they will be the first to tell me later that I was terrible, because they're my toughest critics. As I was talking through my speech yesterday with my oldest, he told me I was a little too wordy. So you guys will also have to be the judge of that. But in all sincerity, I'm incredibly ecstatic to have my family with me today. They are rock solid in terms of allowing me to do this work and really lead the United Way. So thank you to my family. Over the course of the last 20, 30 minutes, you've heard from our volunteers about the work that we've been able to do over the course of the last 18 months as the global pandemic hit. And what I can tell you is this team of staff professionals at United Way have been incredible. I believe to my core, no offense to many of you that have employees in the room, but we have the best team in all of Summit and Medina County. This team has stood up and stood tall every step of the way. Every asset has been made. They have stood up and delivered on results for this community. So if you all will help me in acknowledging the staff of United Way of Summit and Medina today. So as you all just heard in that video, it's all about bold goals and big results, right? 4 years ago, I stood on this stage and we talked about what this community could do if we all came together and moved forward. And we set our bold goals and we knew that we had the opportunity to produce results. And as we've done so, we've done that in line with the things that we talked about. How do we make sure more third graders are reading on grade level within the Akron Public Schools? How do we make sure more high school graduates are graduating with the necessary skills to be college and career ready so they can be sustainable adults? How do we better partner with our core partner, the City of Akron and the Mayor's Office around financial empowerment to deliver financial stability to the adult population of our community, both in Summit and Medina County? And then in the middle of a crisis, as we're announcing our bold goals, the addiction and opioid crisis struck our community. And we knew that we had to do everything we possibly could to put people on a path to recovery. And we've done so in a great partnership with Suma Health, the county, and certainly Catholic Charities and many others who continue that aim around the recovery of addiction within our community. But as we talked about that, one of the things that I think we sometimes forget about is the general foundation that is needed in this community to ensure people have what they need to survive. The synergies between basic needs and bold goals have been prevalent to us as an organization, but I'm not always sure that they were obvious to everyone until the global pandemic hit. As you've heard from others today, as that pandemic hit, United Way stood up and stood tall and moved forward to help this community. Over the course of the last 18 months, we've helped nearly 4,000 individuals with rent and mortgage assistance in our community across Summit County. Every single one of our 30 municipalities, townships, or cities have been impacted to the tune of close to $20 million now, as we said, in rent, mortgage, and utility assistance. On top of that, our federal housing program, as you saw, has continued to meet the needs of those individuals that maybe didn't qualify for the Summit County Cares program, but we needed to do everything we possibly could to ensure that we were meeting the needs of this community. You heard Michelle talk about our information referral services through 211. Unprecedented growth in the 211 program in both Summit and Medina. 80,000 plus phone calls came into United Way over the last 12 months. 1,500 texts, and over 90,000 people searched our database for services. 90,000 people. This community needs to understand that unless we set the foundation of support for immediate needs, we will not be able to continue on the path of bold goals and big results. Your United Way, through the partnerships of everybody in this room, has done everything we possibly can to continue to address community needs as they present themselves within our communities of Summit and Medina. But with that, I know you're all here to hear what's next, right? It's one of the things I always talk about is not only what we have done, but what we're going to do. And I think that's always the most important thing for us as a community is not to sit and think about all of our successes and pats on the back, but what are we going to do, continue to persist and move this community forward and achieve the goals that we know we all want to achieve. The first thing I want to talk about is a project that we are incredibly proud to be a part of. The project was started by a great group of women within this community known as the Sojourner Truth Project. Tawanda Mullins, Teresa Carter, Lisa King have been the leaders of this project for the last several years. And this project was meant to ensure that Miss Truth, who had a huge mark on this community, but also across the country around women's rights and civil rights, forever has a place in our community. Back on May 29, 1851, Miss Truth gave her very famous speech 170 years ago, Ain't I a Woman, right here in Akron, Ohio. She happened to do that on the property of United Way of Summit and Medina counties. This group of women wanted to ensure that we knew that this speech happened, not only so we can remember the past and not repeat it, but we have something to guide us as we move to the future. So what we are looking at as we move forward is the sculptor, Woodrow Nash, who is local, has already begun on the statue. It's going to be a life-size statue of Miss Truth. But we needed a place to put it. And the most logical place for all of us as we started talking was where that speech was given 170 years ago. So we're very excited to announce, and it's on the screen today, that over the course of the next 12 to 18 months, you will see the United Way of Summit and Medina counties building, the front of it, transformed into the Sojourner Truth Plaza. This plaza will ensure that the community, people far and wide, our students have what they need to understand the importance and significance of this speech in our community. We are very grateful to the partners that have come forward, as I said, the Sojourner Truth Project, Summit County Metro Parks, County of Summit, City of Akron, the GPD Group, Rulin, and more to come who are going to make this come to life. You'll hear more information about this as we move forward, but we are incredibly grateful and thankful to Akron Community Foundation who started this with the Sojourner Truth Project, and we will help them continue to move it forward. We look forward to sharing more with you all soon. So, bold goals, big results. Global pandemic, all the things that could have gotten in the way. What we know as an organization, as I said before, is for us to continue to move the needle in this community, we can't just continue to do the things we've always done. So our commitment to you today is that what you will see from us at the next annual meeting in April will be a full release of our Bold Goals 2.0. What Bold Goals 2.0 will consist of is ensuring that we have what we need to move this community forward. Let me start with Medina County. You heard from some great community leaders in that video earlier on Medina. The first thing we have to do in Medina, just a year later, a reminder, it's been a year since we merged, is we have to show up. The first part of success in life is showing up, and the thing that we have done repeatedly in the first 12 months in Medina County is we're showing up. We moved our offices right onto Medina Square. We had 50, 60 volunteers on the square a couple weeks ago packing backpacks for the community. We are going to continue to do what we need to do around engagement and showing up in Medina to show we're serious about change. The next thing we need to do is we need to work directly with the community and for the community to determine what the community needs us to be in Medina County. Once we do that, we will set the same level of transformational goals we have in Summit County and Medina County, and then we will work tirelessly to achieve those bold goals and big results in Medina County. We are here, we are present, we are committed, and we will win in Medina County. In Summit County, you've heard the results. We're moving forward. It's transformational. But we know, coming out of a global pandemic, that our partners, both corporate, community, government, need us to look different. So what we're doing to ensure that we are different as we move forward is make sure, as Mr. Considine said, that we're leading with two very critical and important things: hope and leadership. Our board insisted that as we look forward to changing who we are as an organization, that we do so with those two things in mind. Because we know as more people for the first time ever have had to ask for assistance, they also need hope. There are far too many people in both of our communities that are in despair right now. And one of our responsibilities as an organization is to ensure we do everything we can to restore hope to those that need it. The other day I was driving down I-90, coming from our family up in Cleveland, and I saw a billboard, and this was literally on Sunday. It just struck me like I couldn't believe it. And the billboard said, "With no vision, there's no hope." No vision, there's no hope. So the three things that we can commit to you all today that we will do emphatically as an organization: We will trust our vision and we will move forward. We will continue to supply hope to a community, and where there is need of leadership and an organization to step up, we will be there to answer the call. And if we do that, our Bold Goals 2.0 will take care of themselves. But what do Bold Goals 2.0 look like? Well, for us, we have learned so much in this global pandemic. We know our great partners at the Akron Public Schools. There is a good chance that because kids haven't been in the classroom, that some of those numbers may go the other way. And if we were just going to say we're going to do what we always did to get them back where they were, we are not going to be successful. We have to double down. We have to work harder. As Bishop Parker said, we have to make sure that DE&I is laced through everything we do. When we pick neighborhoods, we pick them because we want to be responsible for those kids and those families within those targeted neighborhoods. We want people to hold us accountable because we're here. So as we move forward, what you will see from United Way of Summit Medina County is to ensure that we have an ecosystem of interdependency. And I don't want you to forget that word because it's going to be very important. An interdependent ecosystem that allows us to use our case management in financial empowerment centers through the city of Akron, family resource centers through the Akron Public Schools, and our wraparound housing case management services through the county to ensure that we are not only delivering on the immediate need, maybe it's food with our partners at the Akron-Canton Regional Food Bank, or maybe it's housing. But not only why do they need food and why do they need housing, but why did they get to that point in the first place? And then how do we wrap our arms around those kids and families and ensure that we are helping them to get to a place of long-term health and financial stability? It may mean for us as an organization that the Bold Goals may look a little different. We may have a new one. We may have an additional one. We may move things around. But what we can promise you is we will work tirelessly around this thought of interdependence ecosystem. We will work tirelessly around the ecosystem. We've learned a lot. We've learned a lot over the course of the last 18 months. But the one thing we know for sure is this community will step up. This community will step up. So as I close today with you guys and let you guys all out of here, there's a couple things I want to remind you of. So those of us who saw the video from the city, which I was floored by, it just really did paint a picture of what's transpired for all of us since March of 2020. It's been a heck of a ride. It's not over yet. We'll continue to persist. We'll do everything we can to recover from the pandemic. But one of the things our mayor asked us, those of us that were at the State of the City, is what can you do? What can you do to advance the agenda, to move people forward and help this community recover? I think United Way is answering that question. We will do what we need to do and what we're asked to do to help people succeed. The other thing I want to remind you of, it'll be on the screen or it might have been already on the screen. I saw a quote a couple months ago, right around the Hall of Fame. It was right before the Hall of Fame inductions, and it was from the first African-American head coach to win the Super Bowl, Tony Dungy. It's on the screen, I might butcher it a little bit, but essentially he said, goals come to an end, but purpose lasts a lifetime. Goals come to an end, but purpose lasts a lifetime. So for us as an organization, for all of you in the room, we all set goals. We set our bold goals and our big results. They are finite. They're going to have an end. They will have an end. But for all of us in this room, the 800 people that showed up today, the 200,000 people in this Akron community, the 550,000 in the county of Summit, the 250,000 people in Medina County, we all have a sense of purpose. And if we can align that purpose to move transformational and systematic change in community, we will win wildly as a community. Everybody has a purpose. Drive your purpose for life. Move it forward. Help us win as a community and help us continue to achieve bold goals and big results. Thank you all so much for being here today. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon.